Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our international talk show. We've traveled the world today, starting with a guest in Israel, Nicaragua, United Kingdom, America. We even had American authors on today, very unusual. Our next guest, you might say he is stranger than normal, because every time he comes on it's something completely, totally different. I guess I'd call him eclectic, by the way. Here is his latest book, To Be Frank, and it's fascinating. Not only do I have the book here, I have the author here somewhere if I can find him. There he is. Welcome, Graham Pryor.
Thank you, Mike.
Are you stranger than normal, stranger than usual? It's always something different, totally different with you.
Yes, well, all the books are strangers to each other. They're also very different.
Yeah.
But To Be Frank is one of my favourites because it's very autobiographical. It's about the development of a man's personality throughout his life, and it presents it through 7 chapters, starting off when he's a teenager and ending up when he's an old man in a care home. So that was quite fun to do.
Yeah. Yeah, the style, the approach is unusual and amazing. It's drawn me in to read the book. Are there sketches in there as well?
Are there what, sorry?
Sketches. Some drawings?
No.
It's just
text.
Literary sketches, I guess. Then, but the guy the book's about, maybe about you. I'm not sure.
Well, it started off being about me. I wrote the last chapter first. It's about the chap in the care home, because my wife's always saying when I misbehave, she says, "I'll put you in a care home, and that'll be the end of you." So I wrote the book about what it was like to be an old man who'd been deposited in an old folks' home, and he turned out to be quite a rebel. He was smoking dope in the garden and rather getting too close to one of the other inmates, one of the women, and he was trading cigarettes with some boys who he wanted to help get him out of the place. And I thought, well, this is an interesting character. Let's go back to the beginning. And the first chapter then was him as a teenager at school, quite rebellious and not wanting to adhere to the rules. And this teenager didn't like playing football. He wanted to get out of playing football, so he took cross-country running up, and he got to be so good that they put him in the team, which is not what he wanted. He wanted to be individual and free. So when there was a big race, he decided he was just going to mess it up. And he didn't do at all well. And when he got to the end, they said, "You're terrible, you're terrible." He said, "But I'm free. I did what I wanted. Now forget the rules." And he actually went to see the film Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, the Alice Sillitoe novel. And he saw a poster which said, "What counts is that you play it right for yourself. Don't forget about playing by the rules or playing it by ear. Play it for yourself." And that became his totem for the life. And the other chapters in the book adhere to that. So each one of them is just him developing his own sense of what he means in life. And in the second chapter, it's another fairly autobiographical one where he's teaching in a school a special school for children who are not particularly intellectually gifted, and he finds that they are gifted in another way, not intellectually, but they have this great ambition, and this is all based on fact. The school has a sports day where some of the boys are taking with these canoes out along a long canal about 20 miles from the town, and they're put into the canoes and just left, and they paddle and paddle and paddle, and nobody cares about them, but everybody's sure that they will arrive, and they all do, and he gets this sense of, yes, you do things for yourself. And that theme follows throughout the book until he's the old man in chapter 7, where he's in this care home, left there by his wife, and all he wants is his dog. And he breaks out of the place. He gets the boys he trades cigarettes with to show him how to unlock the door to the care home. And he goes to his house and climbs up on the roof to get into the bathroom to see his dog. But unfortunately, somebody calls the police and says there's an intruder getting in here, and he's taken back to the care home. And he just doesn't give up. He goes out looking. He gets out of the house again. They get out of the care home, and walks along this viaduct and is looking down for his dog because he knows his dog will come and find him.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, he falls off the viaduct and that's the end of him. But all the time, he's true to his thought that you do it for yourself.
Do it for yourself.
It was a good theme to follow.
Yeah, that's a great theme that goes to the book. Who's this book for, Graham?
Who's it for?
Who's
anybody really.
Yeah.
It might appeal to older people because it just shows that when you get to my age, you don't give up.
Keep going. Yeah, that's interesting. Breaking out of the home. That's a fun thing. I've had friends who've tried to do that, and I always say, "You're free.
Yeah.
Why can't you just leave?" But they lock them in there sometimes.
Well, I'm not sure they do like you leave. They take you out most of these places, but in this one, it's based on one local to me, and the door was locked, and he had to find out how you got the lock undone. There was a secret way of doing it, and the boys who help him show him how to do that.
How many books do you have out now, Graham?
Well, in fiction, I've done about 16 now.
Yeah, and you've done some nonfiction.
I've done 3 in non-fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were scientific books about data management.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be reading those, Graham.
No, I wouldn't bother.
I do study data management. That's what we all do now. But the nonfiction. Now you're working on another. Is that right?
Yeah, well, this is quite a novel thing. I have a lot of very intense dreams. I think probably they're stimulated by the medication I'm on. I have to take a lot of medication for my kidney transplant, and I think this helps me have really intense dreams. And I tend to remember them very clearly every day. So I thought, well, let's write them down. So they're like stories in themselves. So I'm putting these things together, and we'll publish them as a collection. And they're really, really quite extraordinary. Some of them, if you read them, you think, oh, this guy needs locking up. You know, they're so odd. But they're very, very visual.
And that's Night Traveler. That book's going to be called Night Traveler.
Night Traveller, because they're where I go in the night, and they would all strangely involve travelling around. There's always a train in it, or somebody driving a car, or somebody missing an aircraft, and that's the worst one. There's always somebody with an air ticket, and they rush to the airport and find the thing doesn't work. They can't get on. It's obviously something that's bothering my brain, but I don't know what.
Now you have the dream. Do you wake up in the middle of the night and write them down, or do you remember the next day?
No, that's the weird thing. I remember them clearly, as if it was a film I watched, and I've got the whole thing recorded. Yeah, even down to conversations. Very strange.
Incredible. So you're writing a book while you're sleeping. Is really what's going on.
Yes, it seems like. Yeah.
Now tell our viewers what part of Scotland you're in.
Sorry.
Tell our viewers what part of Scotland you're in.
I'm in the northeast of Scotland. It's north of Aberdeen, which is the nearest city.
Okay. And that's way north. I mean, there's nothing north of Scotland, is there?
Oh, yeah, there's plenty more. There's a couple of 100 miles north of here.
Okay.
You go up to John O'Groats at the very top.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, when will, by the way, all of your books are the non-fiction or the fiction books are still out on Amazon and other places?
You can get them all on Amazon. Yeah.
On Amazon, yeah. And I saw them all; they're all still available. And
Yeah.
when will this next Night Traveler be out? Have you written it?
The rate that'll be done by the end of January.
And how long does it take you? I mean, you're prolific. How long does it take you to get through a book?
Oh, 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months. Oh my goodness! Now, once you finish writing it, is there a lot of work, editing, and things like that?
Yeah, the editing's the longest bit. Yes.
Yeah.
I usually just write the whole thing and then just go back and start from the beginning.
Start editing, yeah.
And the editing's the really gritty bit to do. Yeah.
Now,
you always find there's something. Go back and over and over and over, and you'll still find some typos and.
You're always going to find something. Also, do you send it out to an editor?
No, I don't know. I do the whole thing myself. I get my wife to read it and sometimes somebody else to read it, but between us we manage to iron most of it out.
Yeah, and they find something there's little stuff that you go over 1,000,000 times and you don't see it, I guess.
That happens, yes. It's extraordinary how that happens. I must be...
I guess
Sorry?
I started off by calling you eclectic because it seems like you have all different genres every time.
It's always different, yeah. There's politics, philosophy, sex, adventure, whatever. It's all in there somewhere.
It's always something different. Now, we do have your web address on the screen, grahampryor.ampbk.com. What will our viewers find if they go there?
Well, they're really only the books I've published through that particular publisher. I mean, they will find details about those. But there's a lot of other stuff that's been self-published. In fact, the best place to go to is Amazon, where it's got the whole lot.
Yeah. I just went to Amazon. I copied and pasted Graham Pryor in, and it all came up all in one spot. So many books. Yeah. Graham, I love talking to you because you're fascinating, and it's always different. And for our viewers, if you want to read something different on every book from one author, Graham Pryor is the guy to go to. In fact, it's that time of year where people are buying gifts and giving gifts for no reason at all. I find a lot of purpose in giving books. So I recommend go to Amazon, go to Graham Pryor, click on some of his books, and pass them out during the holiday season.
I keep telling people, if you want something different, try one of these.
If you want something different, look up Graham Pryor. Graham, we've gone past time. I always do with you because you're fascinating. Any last thoughts for our viewers about your book, your latest book, or anything you want to talk about in the world?
Well, just try them all, Zed, because they are all so different. I mean, I really like To Be Frank. That's a good book because it's got a lot of humour in it and a lot of personal feeling. Yeah. And it appeals to me very much. One of the chapters is about a man having a love affair, and it really explores what it is to have this affair where somebody is just there because it's fun and another person wants something out of it. And it really got to the nub of all the feelings. It's a good book to sit and just ponder over whilst you're sitting there with a brandy over Christmas. Yeah, it's just going to be very interesting to see how the character develops or undevelops. I guess he starts old, and you get to see him go through all the things in his life. Just one character, and it's a very very amazing approach. Thank you, Graham. I hope you'll come back anytime on the show. I love to talk to you. I'm going to Scotland someday, and I'll look you up. Okay. Thank you, Mike. And for our viewers, by the way, here's the cover again. To Be Frank, the cover just gets you, draws you right in. Go order it, and for our viewers, stick around. Don't go anywhere because we're going to be back with another author right after this. Thank you, Graham, and we'll be right back. Thank you, Mike. Bye. Welcome back to Briggs on Books, our truly international talk show where we talk to authors from all over the world about their book, about their process, where they even come up with their ideas. So we talk to publishers, editors, paginators. If you write a book, you got to get a paginator to make a line up right on all the pages. There's all these things that go into creating books. We like to talk to authors, and we also like to talk to people who are in the process